Have you ever heard of a queen who fiercely defended her kingdom against colonial powers? Meet Ranavalona first. Born in 1778 as Ramavo, her journey to the throne was far from ordinary. In the heart of Madagascar, in the late 18th century, a child named Ramavo was born into nobility. But her story was not to be the usual tale of a princess. Ramavo was destined for a path that would forever mark her as one of the most formidable rulers of the 19th century. Young Ramavo grew up amidst the rich traditions of her people, absorbing the vibrant culture that would later inform her reign. She was raised in an environment that valued the preservation of her Malagasy heritage, shaping her into a leader who would fiercely defend her country's sovereignty. In her early 20s, Ramavo's life took a turn that would set the stage for her future reign. She married King Radama I, a man known for his friendly relations with European powers and his efforts towards modernization. But when King Radama I died unexpectedly in 1828, Ramavo was thrust into a position of power. She ascended the throne and took on a new name, Ranavalona, symbolizing her transformation from a noblewoman to a queen. But Ranavalona I was not just any queen. Unlike her late husband, she did not seek friendship with the European powers. Nor did she pursue the path of modernization. Instead, she chose to take a more isolationist and traditionalist approach. She decided to steer her nation away from foreign influences and closer to the roots of its own culture. This decision marked the beginning of a reign that would be characterized by a fierce defense of Malagasy traditions and a determined resistance against European colonization. It was a path that was not without its challenges, but Ranavalona I was ready to face them head-on. And so, Ranavalona I, once Ramavo, began her rule over Madagascar, steering the nation on a path of her own. Ranavalona's reign was a time of defiance and preservation. She had the daunting task of defending Madagascar's sovereignty from European powers. Her rule, spanning over 3 decades, was marked by unyielding resistance against European colonization and a steadfast commitment to maintaining the independence of Madagascar. Ranavalona I was not one for half measures. She understood the immense power and influence of the European powers and knew that to protect her kingdom, she would need to take decisive action. And so she did. One of her first acts as queen was to expel European missionaries from Madagascar. This was a clear message to the world. Madagascar would not be a playground for foreign influence. The queen didn't stop there. She went a step further and prohibited Christianity, a religion that had been gaining ground in Madagascar due to the efforts of these missionaries. This bold move was not just about religion, it was a statement. Ranavalona I was asserting that Madagascar would not be swayed by foreign beliefs or ideologies, but would stand firm in its own culture and traditions. However, preserving Madagascar's independence wasn't just about keeping foreign influences at bay. It also required strengthening the kingdom from within. To this end, Ranavalona I implemented a policy of forced labor, known as the Fanampuana. This policy was used to carry out public works and build up the military, crucial elements in maintaining the kingdom's independence and sovereignty. Ranavalona I's reign was a formidable one. Her policies may have been strict, even harsh by some accounts, but they were driven by a singular goal, the preservation of Madagascar's independence and culture. She was a queen who would not bow to foreign powers, who would not allow her kingdom to be swayed by foreign beliefs, and who would take whatever steps necessary to strengthen her kingdom. Thus, Ranavalona I, through her strict policies, sought to maintain Madagascar's independence and preserve its culture and traditions. Under Ranavalona's rule, the Merina kingdom flourished and expanded, transforming into a strong and centralized state. This was a period of significant transformation for Madagascar, with the Merina kingdom at its epicenter. As Ranavalona ascended to the throne, she inherited a kingdom that was already on a trajectory of growth and expansion. However, her reign would take this growth to new heights, fundamentally reshaping the kingdom and its place in the world. Ranavalona was not content to simply maintain the status quo. She sought to centralize power and authority, seeking to create a unified, cohesive state. This was no small task. The Merina kingdom was a patchwork of different territories, each with its own unique customs, traditions, and power structures. But Ranavalona was determined. She saw the potential for a unified kingdom, a powerful empire that could stand up to the encroaching European powers. And so, she set about implementing her vision. She enacted policies designed to centralize authority, bringing disparate territories under the direct control of the central government. She built up the military, creating a formidable force that could protect the kingdom from external threats. And she promoted Malagasy culture and traditions, seeking to create a sense of shared identity among her subjects. The result of these efforts was the Merina Empire, a powerful, centralized state that stretched across much of Madagascar. The empire was a testament to Ranavalona's vision, her determination, and her leadership. It was a force to be reckoned with, a beacon of Malagasy power and independence in a world increasingly dominated by European colonialism. But the creation of the Merina Empire was not without its challenges. Ranavalona faced opposition, both from within her kingdom and from outside forces. She had to navigate complex political landscapes, manage conflicts, and make difficult decisions. But through it all, she remained steadfast in her vision. Despite facing numerous challenges, Ranavalona succeeded in creating a powerful empire. Her reign marked a pivotal period in Madagascar's history, a period of growth, transformation, and the assertion of Malagasy sovereignty. Her legacy continues to shape the nation to this day. Ranavalona Wurst, a name that evokes both admiration and fear. Her methods were harsh, her reign controversial, but her determination undeniable. In the annals of history, her reputation teeters on a precarious balance. On one hand, she was dubbed as Ranavalona the Cruel by European accounts. Her rule was marked by severe measures and sometimes brutal methods, a result of her unyielding efforts to resist European colonization and maintain Madagascar's independence. The expulsion of European missionaries, the prohibition of Christianity, the implementation of the Fanompoana, a policy of forced labor, all form part of this narrative. Her reign was one of iron and fire, of blood and sweat, and it left an indelible imprint of cruelty in the minds of those who wrote of her from afar. Yet on the other hand, in the heart of Madagascar, a different story unfolds. Here, Ranavalona is remembered not as a cruel monarch, but as a strong and determined leader. She is revered as a nationalist hero, a woman of steel who fiercely defended her kingdom against colonial encroachment. Her policies, however harsh they may have been, were seen as necessary measures to preserve Malagasy culture and traditions, to protect the sovereignty of her land and people. The dichotomy in the perception of Ranavalona I is as stark as it is intriguing. It reveals the complex and multifaceted nature of her legacy. There are those who view her with disdain, criticizing her for the violence and repression that marked her reign. Yet there are also those who honor her for her unwavering commitment to her people and her relentless fight against colonialism. Ranavalona I's legacy is a testament to her strength and determination, leaving a complex yet significant mark on Madagascar's history. Her reign, while controversial, continues to resonate in the present, reminding us of a queen who stood unwavering in the face of foreign encroachment, a queen who ruled with an iron fist, a queen who was, in every sense, a force to be reckoned with. After over 3 decades of rule, Ranavalona passed away on August 16, 1861, leaving behind a transformed Madagascar. Her death marked the end of an era, one characterized by staunch resistance to European colonization and a fierce determination to preserve Malagasy culture and traditions. Ranavalona Wurst was succeeded by her son, Radama II. A stark contrast to his mother, Radama II, was more open to the influence of European powers. He sought to bridge the gap that had widened during his mother's reign, embarking on a more conciliatory approach. Radama II initiated several reforms. He aimed to modernize Madagascar, embracing some of the changes that Ranavalona Wurst had staunchly opposed. He allowed European missionaries back into the country and lifted the prohibition on Christianity. These changes, while controversial, were significant in shaping Madagascar's future. But the death of Ranavalona Wurst and the succession of Radama II did not erase the impact of her reign. Her policies, her resistance, and her efforts to preserve the Malagasy culture left a lasting mark on the nation. She was a queen who chose to stand against the tide, to protect her kingdom and her people at all costs. The reign of Ranavalona I was a pivotal period in Madagascar's history. It was a time marked by resistance to colonialism, efforts to preserve indigenous culture, and the assertion of sovereignty. It was a time of transformation, of growth, and of the assertion of national identity. The legacy of Ranavalona Wurst, while complex and controversial, continues to resonate in the hearts and minds of the Malagasy people. Ranavalona was a queen whose rule was marked by resistance, preservation, and a fierce will to protect her kingdom. Her story remains etched in the annals of Madagascar's history. Although her methods were sometimes brutal, her determination and resilience left an indelible mark on her kingdom. And the story of Ranavalona Wurst, a story of courage and defiance, continues to captivate and inspire.